All right, so this will be my first time driving 8 scale. I drove this car. I used half a battery's worth in my yard, so not really at all. Here's the track. This will be kind of fun just to see what it's like. Oop. I might have just turned you off. Let me check. All right, we're still recording. See if I can get this thing onto my hat. All right, hopefully we can see this. This will be fun to share. All right, so I just got a little Typhon. It's like it's not even it's the older version of what is the 223. Oh, and I'm already down. This will get me some exercise. So the tires on this car are super bald, but it'd be fun to at least get a chance to get out here and drive it. Yeah, you can probably see those tires are very bald. I got a good deal on that thing. It gets me a chance to see if this is something I want to do. They do these races on Sundays, and so Sundays aren't as good a day for me to get out. I'm not super keen on how dirty everything is either. See if I can figure out where the track is. I just drove right off. I'm blind. That doesn't help. This is a long ways out for somebody who's blind. Yeah, there's a time not that long ago I would have never made it around this track. I just started racing, so my first race was right at the end of October last year. So I've not been racing for very long. So this is all a new hobby for me, a new venture, and kind of fun to get out and learn how to drive these things. This is it's something I always wanted to do. I'm sure a lot of you are the same way. Anyway, I'll probably pause and just do some driving here, and you guys can see how sucky I am, but get to take in my first experience. I'm going to just throw a couple more laps and then we'll let this thing cool down and do another battery. Sorry, I'm also fighting a cold. So I'm sure I've been sounding like I'm out of breath, because I am. Just ran down to pick up the car too. But starting to get a better sense for how to get the car around the track at a somewhat reasonable pace. I'm really struggling with, so there's a little angle right there. Really having a hard time with that. But definitely much more competent than I was just a few minutes ago. So pretty interesting. So everything I've driven has been 2S. Everything I've done has been indoor. I've been mostly, I race short course truck. I've done a few laps with the 10 scale buggies, but not really much, and then I do the oval thing, and so off-road is such a different challenge. Oval is so much about what your knowledge on setup. I don't think your driving skill it's still there, but it's not like off-road. Definitely been nice to cross-train my off-road skill, or my oval skills with the off-road, because it definitely make you a better driver. It's definitely made me a lot better driver. I can't even imagine this, like a couple, 2 months ago, I don't think I would have been able to finish a lap. Just being honest, with the tires as bald as they are on this car, it would have been really hard. And, I've had to go pick up the car twice. So, sorry, 3 times. You saw me once, and then I shut it down, and then I went and Did it one more time, but so I got quite a few laps. This is amazing. We definitely see where this could be fun. Man, these cars are spendy. It'd be nice if we could, I'd love to figure out the best car. I'd probably end up getting a low C, that 8XE, I think is what that thing's called. Although if it's not much more money, I think the Truggy is probably superior because it's got such a big wheel. I understand tires are a much bigger expense, so that's definitely something to consider. But the simple fact that you roll over everything that much easier, right? The larger circumference, it's a big deal. And so I do, I kind of wonder if maybe that'd be, but I also need to come out and see. I've thought about just doing short course truck, just keep it simple. My truck that I have currently is actually set up for outdoor. It's got a huge motor system. I run it about 79%. So it's more than capable of running a very fast lap out here. And I actually ironically have the diffs largely set up for a less grippy course. And so it actually should just work really good out here right away. So I've been tempted to buy a second short course truck and run that. But yeah, I do need to come out maybe one more time and watch classes. And this is something we all need to be doing, is see what's working. I do know that this track, they've been consistently able to have a sportsman class. So there's novice, sportsman, and then your expert classes. I do know that at least one of the guys that I would be racing with in that sportsman class is honestly a really good driver that probably shouldn't be in the class, but I get it. You want to race where you think you have the best chances of winning, but I think it's also important to race the best competition that you can. I personally would almost rather race the step up as long as I'm not causing problems, right? And because that's something we all need to be aware of. But yeah, getting out and racing the class that you belong in, I think it's important. Yeah, I guarantee if you watch somebody else running this track, they're a whole lot faster than me. But my consistency hasn't been bad. Consistency is a lot of times more important than flat out speed. So I actually feel like I could probably come out here and run pretty okay right off the bat. Obviously not a winning pace, but I definitely wouldn't have to run novice class. So that'd be something. Race with the sportsmen. Get do my usual thing of being a podium finisher, because I can generally I am usually a pretty steady hand, and again, getting marshaled, especially a track this size. Can you imagine? It'd take forever. I came out here this weekend and watched a bit, and when people needed marshaled, it took an eternity to get picked back up. So anytime you can keep from being marshaled is huge. And I crash into the side of the track. Anyway, I should make this my last lap. We'll as I just goon out, and there it is. I wish we had a timing system. I'd love to be able to see what my times are like. Anyway, that was run one with the Typhon 3S, running a 3S battery, and yeah, pretty fun. I do think that's a pretty cool thing to be able to run. I'll show a little bit more maybe on my later battery here. See if I improve any. All right, so round two. Let this thing cool down for a bit. Got out there and yeah, just kind of trying to make sure I don't burn things up. Anyway, I'm going to try standing in a different position. I'm curious to see if I like the angle better. I know it makes a big difference for me on our smaller track. I got to think it's going to make a difference for me out here. I'm trying to be less susceptible to that, to where I stand on the driver's stand. But right now I'm pretty needy. Lucky bounce. That wasn't bad. I'll take a lucky bounce too, Oh, too much throttle at the landing there. Did I just ding myself? Nope, we're good. Um, remember to let up, right? A lot of you watching will be like, oh, of course, but there's a lot of us that do this that aren't versed and are still learning, that are going to be like, we need all the help we can get. Wow, I'm suddenly terrible, and it could be that I changed my angle. So remember that, guys, when you're out there and you're trying to learn how to drive. If you can not move around on the driver's stand a bunch, it actually will make a big difference for you. I find that sometimes even just a step to the right or left can make a big difference for me on our smaller track. This track, I don't think it's going to make as big of a difference, but that jump with my slick tires, it's really hard to make, in case you're wondering why I'm singling that. And this, you can double it, but it's, again, slick tires, it just fly right over the other side. I tried it one time, I guess. It's easy to make, even with just this little 3S. But, let's get it out of the marbles there. Get where I can actually turn. And I'm down. All right, I'm gonna go get that. I'm driving around for a bit. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. All right, kind of been trying a couple of different spots on the stand, and I'm kind of working my way to the left. Let's see how this works. This will be the first time I'm really close to this pole. I think I'm probably too close to this pole, and that. Yeah, I definitely think I liked over on the other side better. Again, as a new driver and even an experienced driver, having, your line choice or your standing choice on the podium, on the driver's stand rather. See, look at that. I can't even line myself up. So let's move back over here and see how I do when I get back over here. It makes a huge difference. And I actually, so we have a gentleman that's actually quadriplegic that races at our track. He's got an amazing setup. Guy's name's Wild Willie. He's got a Facebook page. I believe it's just Wild Willie, or a YouTube channel rather. But yeah, it's actually pretty remarkable what he's got. His setup, like his setup for his RC cars, his setup for his trucks, or for his van is pretty amazing. He actually drives his regular car, and then obviously RC racing. Anyway, at our main track, he has a spot on the stand. So I purposely make dang sure that I am not learning how to drive in his spot. I tend to like to err on the left side, which I've actually done here as well. Reason being, at our track, we have a lot of guys that like to stand on the right side, and so I feel like I have better odds of getting my favorite spot by standing out of that most common line. I can definitely see where having an open diff versus a slipper makes a difference. This car, when you gas it hard, there's no control. Definitely something that a good differential does. I'm assuming that I bought this car, like I said, I haven't even really run it. I'm sure it's stock. The only thing that's not stock are those tires. I think it's got, they're slicks right now, but I think they were a pretty decent tire that were on here. Obviously, tire selection is huge. Tires have been kind of one of the banes of my existence as a racer because of the cost, right? I guess I'd almost rather run a worse tire. But I'm understanding here, we've actually got a spec tire class, which that might be helpful. Depends on how the wear life is on them. Otherwise, I'd be happy to run a worse tire and, a harder tire that's going to maybe take a little bit more wear, that's going to last a little bit longer. Because to me, I don't want to be replacing tires all the time. And I think I've said it before in other videos, I don't think most, there's like 15 or 20 people in the world that make money racing RC cars. You make more money running a YouTube channel if you're one of these great, good YouTube channels that are well established. Ryan Harris or Mark Santa Maria, I think is his name. These guys have great channels and tons of followers and great presence online. That channel that A-Main runs is really great. Has lots of great info, and obviously they've got access to all the latest stuff. I like that Mark does a lot more with basher stuff, because like he pointed out, actually, I didn't know this, but racers make up almost none of the RC market, and so we're all out here just kind of trying to do our best. But yeah, so on the tires, right? We don't need to spend that much money on tires. I'd rather finish third and be consistent and have a good time than and learn to be a great driver. Then if I show up to the big events and get to where I can really run, then maybe somebody else can help me out with my tire expense, because right now tire expense is high. I think my driving, I don't know, what do you guys think? Does my driving look like it's improved since I've been out here? This has been, so I'm just on my second battery. I actually just brought the 2. I know that there's power stations out here, but I'm again fighting a cold and didn't want to. This is me resting, right? I had a day. I'm kind of caught up with my regular job, and wanted to come out here. I figured it'd be fun to get out here and get a couple of laps in, and I'm going to go home and rest, take advantage of what I do, because I do home audio video. My home theater system is insane, so I'll be able to watch some movies and enjoy my home, have myself some lunch, because I did come out here. I had just a quick little I had some labels I needed to put on a project to do the last bits of it for a local hotel, and now I'm done, actually, maybe for the week. I got to place an order for another project that I got this morning, which will just take a couple of minutes, and yeah. But yeah, look at that driving. I'm kind of figuring out where I'm at. I'm definitely far from perfect, but I feel like, yeah, as I bomb corner, it's because I'm actually trying to be fast now all of a sudden instead of just driving. But yeah, and I hope that maybe you guys following me maybe make some of this stuff a little less intimidating, because at the end of the day, I don't think racing should be about being the fastest guy. I don't think that racing should be about having the most skill. I think racing should be about having the most fun. And here I am with an Arrma. I plan on racing this thing, and we'll see what classes they allow it in. We'll see what classes it's competitive in, and then ultimately I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably end up getting like the low C. I think that's probably the most car for your money, and to get something more competitive. But I do want to see about, I'm concerned about wear and tear, and the nice thing about the indoor track is it's really clean. This is, right now, I actually think this is actually pretty clean. The dirt's really dry, obviously, but I was watching cars come off the track this weekend when it was watered, and they're just caked in mud, and to be honest, I don't want to work on it. I don't want to deal with it. I like the fact that I can show up with a basic car, with a Traxxas and or an Arrma, and they can take some abuse and be a little bit abusive and not have to worry about just being perfectly spotless all the time. And then here, you're going to have to clean every race. Just being real. I mean, every time you run it, you're going to be doing a serious deep clean. Otherwise, you're just going to tear it apart, and it's not going to last. But yeah, our track, the indoor track, shout out to 2CRC. They do a really good job with track prep, and that track is always very clean. Yeah, this thing's pretty fun. I think this is going to be my last lap, and see if I can get through this without crashing. Ooh, as I almost crash and overturn that, and there it is. All right, well, hey, so that wraps up day two, that's funny, day one, second battery, that's what I meant by two, of running 8 scale. And I will say, the car, honestly, for being an inexpensive car, feels amazing. And I do think, when this thing's all prepped and swept and watered, it's going to be really, really hot. I think it's going to be really fun. So anyway, this track, just for you guys is Eagle Hills Raceway. We're in Eagle, Idaho. There's their cool logo. Props to whoever did that for them, because that's super cool. And this place is pretty amazing because we've got a whole mountain bike park. There's a BMX track out here. This is a pretty cool spot. So anyway, I can't wait to see you in the next video.